general idea about individual steps in chemical reactions, the mechanisms by each individual step, not just the overall reaction, is any chemical that starts its life, first shows up on the left-hand side, is a chemical that you put there. Any chemical that first shows up on the right-hand side is a product, but it might be a temporary product. Like chemical B is a product, but another step later, B gets used up. So what do we call it? Intermediate. So B is an intermediate. It's not there in the end. Chemical C first shows up here,
But it shows up on the other
and it shows up twice actually on the right-hand side.
It shows up on the
But
left
then
side.
two of them get used up later on. So what are those? Intermediates. Yeah.
So did you put it in on the left side at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, we did. We put it first here. So we put in C2, and later on we get C2 back out. What do we call that? Catalyst. If we put it there and then it shows back up again later, it's a catalyst. Here's how we would write that.
So it's an intermediate and a catalyst?
C is an intermediate.
Oh, okay.
C2 is a catalyst. It just what it became for a little while and then popped back out. We will often write the catalyst over the arrow for the equation, just to show that it's not one of the reactants or products, but it is participating. It's a brown. AB2 was one of the chemicals we threw in there, and it never showed back up again, so it was a reactant. AB shows up and never gets used up again, so AB is a product. Is there any other chemical that, well, let's see, DE2 first shows up on the left-hand side and never shows up again, so it's a reactant. BD first shows up as a product, never gets used up again. It's actually a permanent product. BD gets produced, but just stays around. There's nothing, never gets destroyed. And one other product, E2. That shows up on the right-hand side, never gets reused. I think that's it.
So DE2 is a reactant?
DE2 and AB2 are reactants. These three things are the products. C is the catalyst. C2.